When work breaks down because one person leaves, it's not a people problem. It's a system and a stewardship problem.
Ready to grow with resilience, clarity, and confidence in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin, Kimbrough, CEO, author, and founder of The Thriver's Path. I went from foster care to the CEO seat, and here's what I learned. Transformation doesn't start with a title. It starts with your next move. How you reframe your thinking, reclaim your agency, and rename what's possible. If you're done circling and ready to step forward, you're in the right place. Let's make your next move your best move.
Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. Folks, I'm your host, Orvin Kimbrough. I'm so grateful you're here today. I want to talk about something that affects every organization and every professional. It affects all of us, whether you manage people or not. Years ago, I was starting out as an executive director. I got a text message from a colleague asking if we could meet. She was our sole grant writer. She was very strong. She was reliable. She was talented. She was trustworthy. When we sat down, she looked at me and said, "I'm leaving the organization." I was stunned. I didn't see it coming. And almost immediately, my mind didn't go to emotion. It went to exposure. I started thinking about all of the grant applications in progress. Now, remember, this was one of my very first jobs. I started thinking about the reporting cycles, the funder relationships, the deadlines that lived almost entirely in her head. Nothing wrong on her part. Nothing wrong on her part. I mean, she had optionality. It was up to her to move on. But in that moment, I realized something uncomfortable. The system was walking out the door. This is why I am so focused these days on systems and putting structure around us. The system was walking out the door. That wasn't her failure. That was a leadership failure. That was my failure. And here's the part that matters for all of us. You don't have to be the CEO to experience this. You feel it when someone is out sick and work. Guess what? Work just stops. You feel it when a teammate goes on vacation and nobody knows how to do what they do. You feel it when a new hire shows up and you say, "Just watch how I do it." This is one of the reasons why I copy a number of people on communications that come into my office just in case somebody has to pick up the work. They're not starting from scratch. They know exactly what base I was on. And so for this person, it wasn't bad intent that she wanted to leave. But it did underscore that we missed a system. We missed a system. We missed structure. We missed process. Scripture gives us language for this in Proverbs 24:3. Proverbs 24:3. By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established. By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established. In Scripture, a house wasn't just shelter. It was continuity. A house wasn't just shelter. It was stability. A house wasn't just shelter. It was something meant to stand even when people came and went. That's the difference between doing a job and building a house. I hope you caught that. Here's the reframe. And this, my friends, is important. When work breaks down because one person leaves, it's not a people problem. When work breaks down because one person leaves, it's not a people problem. It's not a commitment problem. It's a system and a stewardship problem. And stewardship isn't just about money. It's about care. Care for the mission. Care for the people who came after you. Care for the person who has to step in when life happens. And we all know life absolutely Life absolutely does happen. This is where standard operating procedures come in. What I mentioned earlier, standard operating procedures. SOPs aren't bureaucracy. They are generosity. Let me say it again. SOPs aren't bureaucracy. They are generosity. They say you don't have to guess. Go figure. You don't have to guess at this job. You don't have to carry this alone. You don't have to be perfect to be effective. Whether you're in finance, whether you're in HR or operations, operations or education or nonprofit work, it doesn't matter. If you're in sales, SOPs turn effort into continuity. They capture how decisions get made. They capture how problems get solved. They capture how work gets done when you are not there, and you will not always be there. Yes, CRMs are part of this. Yes, workflows are tools. Workflows are tools, and they matter. But the deeper issue is this. If the only way work gets done is because you remember it, you hold it, or you protect it, then the work, guess what? The work is fragile. The work is fragile, and fragile systems exhaust people. Faith meets leadership right here. It meets leadership right here. God doesn't call us to build a fragile house. He doesn't call us to build fragile houses. God calls us to build houses that stand. Houses that stand. Systems don't replace people. They protect people. They free people. They allow good work to outlive any single role or title. So here's your next move. And this is for all of us, not just managers. This is for all of us. Look at your job and ask, what breaks when I'm not here? Don't think about this as this is job security, because it's not. Look at your job and ask, what breaks when I'm not here? That answer tells you where the system is missing. Where the system is missing, what the system is missing. Write down one process you do instinctively. Write down one process you do instinctively. I've had executives write down processes that they do instinctively. There's so much operating in the backgrounds of their minds. It's just they're on autopilot. Write down one thing people always come to you for. Write down one thing that lives only in your head. That's not your secret sauce. That is not your secret sauce. That is your stewardship assignment. That's your stewardship assignment. Build the system, document the work, create clarity so others can succeed. Because leadership isn't about being indispensable. It's about making the mission more durable. If this episode resonated with you, I want to invite you to join the Thrivers Path, a community designed to help you grow with clarity, courage, and purpose. You can also pick up my book, Twice Over a Man, where I explore how resilience, faith, and structure shape lasting leadership. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and share this with one person. Share it with someone carrying too much in their head. And on your podcast platform, leave a review. It helps this message reach people who are building something that needs to last. Keep building, keep leading, and take your next move. Thanks for spending time with me on The Next Move. I hope today's reflection helped you see your situation differently and reminded you that you're not stuck.
you're being strengthened. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who's standing at the edge of their next move. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's ahead. For deeper reflections, tools, and guided pathways for growth, visit orvinkimbrough.com and explore the Thriver's Path. Until next time, remember, every small step taken with intention moves you closer to the life and leadership you're becoming. Let's keep moving forward together.